The second behavior that we're going to talk about this week is this idea of being curious. This is such an important aspect of kind of this internal behavior that we hope each and every one of us exhibits. And often, curiosity is frowned upon within organizations. The old saying, curiosity killed the cat, or in some ways, how curiosity is really discouraged as you get older. And yet, I think it is such an important part of our work that it's been identified as one of our 6 core behaviors that we each want to exhibit. So when I personally think of curiosity, I think of this guy. And you might be familiar with him, you might not, but when I was a kid, and for all of my kids, I read a lot of Curious George books. And in some ways, he always got into trouble because he was curious. And really, that's kind of the attitude and perspective that I think is really healthy about curiosity, is that you're asking some really important questions and you're trying to figure out how this works and why does that happen this way. And in some ways, it's challenging the status quo when you're curious and you're eager to kind of figure things out. And that's kind of how we hope you think about this particular behavior that each one of us should embody. So there are 5 basic things that I think you should be thinking about being curious about. And I think it starts with yourself. I think it's so important to begin to identify kind of the characteristics, the behaviors that are happening inside of us. Like, why do we respond in certain ways or in certain things to certain people? We should be curious about why do we have that attitude about this particular situation. I think journaling and reflecting is such a critical part of being a leader and being curious, and yet we often don't create time and space to do some of that personal reflection. And yet I think it is so key to our role as leaders. So I hope that you can get curious about yourself a little bit and understand yourself better through this experience. The second one is, I think, being curious about the other is so critical, particularly our role in orientation. And I think it starts first with our team. How curious are you about other people on this team? And each one of us has different identities and different experiences. Are you curious about that? Why aren't you, or why are you? I think those are important questions to ask. And I'd challenge you to become curious about your teammates. What makes them tick? Why are they that way? And get to know each other in that way. And then it goes beyond that to our OAs and to our OLs and understanding their perspectives, and then to our new students that are coming. Being curious about others is so critical to our success. And I challenge you to become more curious about the people that are around you. The third one is our faith. I think this has to be critical. And if we're going to grow and develop as Christ followers, we need to be curious about the way things are, the way the world is, asking tough questions, trying to figure things out on how this all works together is an important part of our own faith development. Then first year experience is something that I really think as part of our job we need to be curious about. What do new students and their families face as they think about entering college? As they are here for a week or a month or their first semester or their first year, what are they experiencing? What are some of the challenges that we need to be thinking about in order to offer them a smooth transition to Calvin University? So we need to be curious about that. And last but not least, I would suggest is if we need to be curious about the programs that we're curating. Why do they work? What's working about them? What's not working? How can we make them better? Why did we do it that way? How about we do it? Could we try something like this? These are the kind of questions we all need to be wrestling with and attempting to figure out and be curious about. So That leads us to our homework. This week, I want you to identify a particular program that was it's within your focus. So if you think about the responsibilities you have right now, choose one program. So it could be a program for our on campus, for our online, for OLs, for OAs, lots of different opportunities for Quest, for transfer students. And I want you to do a deep dive on that particular program. Get really curious about what it is, what they've done in the past, what's worked, what hasn't worked, what are the numbers saying, what do the comments say. Maybe interview some students about what they thought about that particular experience. Um, this is really an opportunity for you to do a deep dive on a particular program. And then I'd love to chat with you in our one-on-one about things that you found, what things showed up, what things surfaced within your curiosity about how to make that program better. So that's your homework for this week. Hopefully we all can lean into curiosity and really attempt to grow and develop our programs through it. Have a great week.